You may think that you are already the full package because you've worked on yourself, you've read lots of blog posts and watched lots of videos, hopefully from this channel, and you know that you are most definitely a cat, but something just isn't working very well when it comes to approaching people or people even noticing you out in public or even on social media. And the reason could be that you are actually giving off some very uninteresting vibes without you even realizing it. So before someone even wants to approach you, they are completely turned off by your behavior. So if you want to know the subtle signs that you're giving off, which is really turning people away from you, stay tuned for the video. My name is Anna, and give me a huge thumbs up because it's very hot today in the studio. If you're from the UK, you are feeling it, so give me some support, guys. I'm melting. You are very messy. This is going to apply in a workspace situation such as an office. It could be your dorm room at university, what's inside your backpack when you are taking things out your bag at school, or even the inside of your car. Now, there are some studies that have told us that messy people are those that are considered highly creative. However, it's actually very unattractive in terms of the romance and dating. If someone is seen as messy and disorganized, it shows that you are always surrounded by just lots of clutter and crazy mentality and negative vibes. It shows that you are in general a very unorganized person, and who wants to date someone that's not organized, because it means they will turn up late to things, they can't plan ahead, they will forget date night. It's just someone that you just cannot depend on in a relationship. Ignoring emails or messages far too often. It happens. We get super busy and we think that, you know what, I'll just check that message later, and then we completely forget. And of course, doing this and letting it become repeat behavior is actually a downer on relationships. People may think that you are dismissive as a person and that you don't really care about them. Some ways that this greatly applies in the dating world is how quick you reply to messages. Of course, you do want to leave it potentially a couple of hours, maybe a day, to build that excitement, to raise the attraction. Obviously, when you're trying to date someone. However, if this is in a long-term relationship or not as brand new into the dating scene, you are continuously forgetting to message someone back, or you are playing too hard in the too hard to get chased situation, it's actually a turn off. Adjusting your clothing. People can get the message that you are feeling very insecure in your own body and skin, and that you are not comfortable in the current situation that you are in. And that is from how you interact with your clothing. So tugging at the bottom of your shirt, constantly adjusting your tie, rolling up your sleeves, it comes across as you being very insecure. And in the dating world specifically, who wants to date an insecure person? Pretty much, well, no one. But you'll want to date confident people who are full of brightness. You do not smile enough. Some of us do have that resting bee face, and you know what, that's totally okay. But what separates those types of people from the very interesting, very much approachable people is they are able to change up their smile from time to time. They are, low-key, a little bit, angry, whatever, and then they are happy and they are smiling. So let's say, for example, you are the person that hates his current situation at the workplace. You are just walking around, frowning, absolutely hating the day, cannot wait for it to end. But if you don't actually smile or look like you can smile on command when people look at you, you give the approach that you don't want to be there, you are very disinteresting, and of course, very unapproachable. And if you can never understand why no one actually approaches you in public in a romantic sense, it's because perhaps you are perceiving the whole interaction as you don't want to be bothered. No one wants to approach you if you are resisting to smile, because it shows that you are very angry, very moody, and no one wants to date a Squidward, right? You need to make it obvious that you are a happy, confident person by just smiling more. I get it. It feels very weird to smile at strangers, but you know what? As soon as a stranger smiles at you, it's going to brighten up your own day. So instead, you be that smiley stranger. Exhaling too loud. Many moons ago, I once worked in a call center, and it was my job to listen to people's phone calls, to analyze them and tell them what they needed to do in terms of their tonality to change it up a little bit. Now, we had this one individual that whenever he got anxious or he felt a little bit angry at what a customer was telling him, because that happens a lot, he would get very upset, but he would exhale slowly in order to calm himself down. But in actual fact, this irate customers on the telephone because they thought that he was doing this out of boredom. However, when I approached him to ask him about the situation, he told me that he had no idea that he was doing that. So you need to analyze your own breathing, because if you are exhaling too loud, it makes you come across as you being bored in a situation, and that, wow, people aren't going to think that you are very interesting. They might think that you are angry and that you are just always upset. Facing away from someone you like. Our feet can be a great indication of how much we like someone or who we like in a group situation. Our feet will point in the direction of someone that we are attracted to, and the rest of our body, specifically the torso, actually just follows naturally. If your feet are actually pointed away from someone that you are on a date with, they might get that feeling that you are not interested in them, therefore there's going to be no second date. Your relaxed posture. You need to be paying attention to how you sit or how you stand when you are around people that you are trying to attract. Because sometimes you may feel really comfortable in your current situation, and that's great. But it means you are slouching on your chair, your elbow is up against the bar in a restaurant. And if you are slouching and looking a little bit too comfortable, people actually think that you are tired and that you're a little bit insecure or even rude. So instead, you need to remain confident. Stand up straight, push your chest out a little, shoulders back, head up, and people will naturally assume that you are confident, therefore very attractive. Staring at your phone. In my house, I have a rule that when we are eating, no one is allowed to have their phones at the table. This is with my friends, this is with my family, with my partner. It's a rule that, you know what, I feel every household should actually have. Because when you have a phone out there and someone's looking at it, it actually disconnects you from having a great relationship in the moment with that person. And from a dating situation, if you are constantly checking your emails, well, you are letting the other person know that you feel that your emails are much more important than that other person that you are on a date with. Plus, if you're always scrolling on your phone outside in public, no one's going to want to approach you if you are busy looking at whatever your emails are. Uber closed off body language. Someone that stands there and crosses their arms or crosses their legs and their arms when they are sitting down comes off as very insecure. You are in a defensive mode. You are actually trying to protect yourself. Well, it looks that way if we do this. So we could say it's like you are giving yourself a hug because you feel nervous. And if closed off body language is something that you do often, you come across as insecure and no one wants to approach you. Fidgeting and tapping. People that constantly wiggle their feet, maybe bouncing of the knees or even finger drumming on work surfaces. Well, this all comes across as actual anxious, nervous behaviour. And if this happens on a date, the other person is going to feel that you are very insecure and you aren't actually enjoying yourself because you're too overwhelmed with nerves. According to a survey by Adecco Staffing, 26% said that fidgeting has been one of the biggest reasons that someone has been unsuccessful with getting a job that they were interviewing for. You are unable to hold eye contact. Eye contact is such an easy form of displaying self-confidence because it lets the other person know that you are very interested in whatever it is they have to say. It also lets them know that you are very in tune to them at that moment. You are giving them such undivided attention. If you don't hold regular eye contact, you come across as insecure. Or if you're the type of person that scans the room constantly with their eyes when you are in conversation, the other person's going to feel that you don't see them as attractive or important, meaning you are bored with them. Very unapproachable. You do not talk to everyone in the group. It's so easy to not talk to someone in the group that we don't know. We always wait for someone else to approach us. However, if that person and you has the same mindset, no one's going to form a conversation now, are they? If you don't make an effort to talk to everyone in the friend group, you actually miss someone out. It could be your best friend's new girlfriend. You come across as very cold and unapproachable. You are the type of person that no one wants to actually talk to. I get it, okay? On the inside, you could be shy, you could be anxious, and you struggle with social connections. However, you need to really work on this because it's actually causing more harm than good. Thank you for getting to the end of the video. That really means a lot. And something that you can do to really make my day is to subscribe to the membership on our channel. The link in the description bar below will tell you more about what that entails. But specifically, you get your name up on our super fan board right here. These are some amazing people that support the channel every single month. If you appreciate the amount of content that we are pumping out on a weekly basis, then this is a great way to say thank you. I really hope you have an amazing day. See you in the next video.